just chilling in my garage with my 2 Lamborghinis. But you know what I like more than my 2 Lamborghinis and materialistic things? ReZero, starting life in another world. I watch an episode a day and read a chapter a day. My name is Shriz, and this is why ReZero is amazing. We're gonna go over a couple points on why I think it's so good and why I think it's so fantastic, and you should watch it if you haven't. The premise of the show, character relationships, and the struggles, as well as a couple other things. Let's hop into it. So let's start with the premise. That's right, it's an isekai, so you probably know where this is going to begin with. A character transported to another world for unknown reasons that we still don't know till this day. Unlike many animes, there's no immediate objective or clear goal. Without any guidance or direction, no place to call home or a person to call a friend. That, of course, going hand in hand with the fact that it doesn't have video game-like tendencies that a lot of isekais have. You know, how characters seem almost like NPCs, and I guess there is one of those guys, the Apple guy, but even him, he kind of changes up. But you understand what I'm trying to get at here. There's no coming in and being like, you must defeat the Demon King, or some immediate opposing party. This makes the anime feel more adventurous, less scripted, and way more relatable. It's one of the biggest pieces of the show that I love so much. It doesn't seem like a video game. Well, almost anyways, and that leads us to our main character, Natsuki Subaru. He does throw a little bit of a dart into my praise I just had a second ago. The protagonist was isekai'd from his normal life in a fashion that he himself doesn't know, nor the viewer, none of us know. No death, no portal, all of a sudden he's just there, saying hello to people. Which, to be quite frank, makes the story way more mysterious. There's no truck-kun involved, there's no portal, no type of story flag if you will, he's just there. And to be honest, if you're a casual watcher, you may even forget that he's from a different world, being that it's brought up so little. The main character himself or other characters don't even bring it up. And the only time it got brought up was in Season 2, Part 2 during some trial. So somehow, this isekai almost doesn't even feel like an isekai. But yes, an average guy in another world who doesn't question why he's there. Like literally, he just doesn't even care. He doesn't think about it, he doesn't study it, he's just there and he's okay with it. And like I said, I find that absolutely hilarious that he just doesn't even study the fact that, whoa, wait, I'm not in the normal place I usually am. But yes, only going throughout life, making friends, love interests, and simply choosing what he believes is right or wrong. Stumbling across people with no guidance. As I said before, there's nobody holding his hand. This is all up to him. His adventure could go either way, any way. All he has to do is go right instead of left and he meets a whole new set of people. But yes, he continues forward anyways, with only a sense of optimism, humor, and for some reason, a feeling of protagonism even though he's so weak. And trust me, in this case, that optimism comes in handy. He's also very witty and has an underrated intelligence. So yes, all the points I just made make him a fantastic character. Him just inserting himself in the journey, moving forward regardless of circumstance. And not only that, with a tracksuit he's had on for many, many days. But oh wait, did I say he's normal? He has a special power that lets him return by death. Yep, that's right. Every time he makes an error in his journey, resulting in his or somebody else's death, or just an outcome he doesn't like, he can just restart from a checkpoint. But here's the thing, that checkpoint cannot be determined by him. It's not like he can just click the save button. And that's what I was talking about earlier that puts a hole in my no video game point. Because he can restart, and death is not an obstacle to him. But wait. It is. Obviously, the fact that he can't determine his own checkpoint does put a little kink in his armor. He doesn't know when he'll restart, the people he'll have around when he does, or even where. And along with that, he has the memories of his past life. No other characters share the many journeys that he's had whenever he has to reset. But yes, this along with his optimism makes for an amazing entertainment. Sometimes laugh, but also sometimes suffering. And that leads us to the relationship building and other characters that sometimes come along with joy and sometimes come along with not so much joy. And trust me, the relationships make up a big part of the reason this show is so amazing. Sometimes things are more constant, sometimes things have more variety, and I can show you with these 2 characters alone. All the way from a character like Emilia, the half-elf, with that cute-ass spirit thing. His first love interest as well as his first companion on this journey that he set off on. Once again, without questioning it. Emilia is one of the only constants in his constant death loop that he has to repeat. One of the only people who don't change no matter how many times he starts over. Always believing in him, being genuine, and not needing anything in return to be a friend of his. And let's be honest, he showed up with a bag of chips and a phone that doesn't even have cellular service. But yes, Emilia, her being the constant, makes her almost like a crutch. And like I said, obviously, he has a love interest with her. Love at first sight type stuff. So that is one of the things that keeps him held on and one of the things that doesn't change no matter how many times he restarts. But then you go to a character like Rim. He embodies the fact that he is not all powerful and things will not always go the way he plans without putting in some type of effort. And really shows that people in the world don't have some type of pre-scripted notion about him. They will prejudge him just like anyone else. And little things you do actually matter and it will stack up. It shows that not everyone is nice or willing to help you without some type of proof or reason to do so. And that shows that him having to restart many times over just to bring her from someone who's neutral, doesn't really care, all the way to an enemy. Which, like I said before, that does make his optimism really come in handy because the man literally had to go through death to make this relationship work. Even though at the time it was more out of necessity for Emilia and the fact that, he just doesn't want to die because believe it or not, if you have the memory of it, it's not too great. You probably don't want to experience it again. But yes, these companions show the differences in an ever-changing world and the characters around him and how much they play a role in his story. And yes, this makes the story fantastic. It adds a level of variety, things that could happen, what ifs. By the way, that's another fantastic thing about ReZero, and I feel like I might want to make a video about it, is the what if stories, because they have real what if stories. But either way, that's besides the point. But yes, these relationships are great. There's also another aspect, another side to the coin that makes it not so great, and fantastic for storytelling, but just horrible for the main character. Because here's the thing, not only can he die, so can his companions. And he's seen it happen many a times, driving him to the brink of insanity. Because while having such a powerful skill and unique ability, still a human and sees what happens to these other people around him when they die, and he feels that emotion and it leaves scars, and that brings a humanizing feel to somebody with an otherwise overpowered ability. Sometimes making him feel powerless as if he can't do anything. No matter how many times he restarts, how many different things he tries, sometimes the outcome he's looking for just isn't there no matter what he does. And this humanization of the main character, regardless of his power, does make the story even better. And that really adds on top of it whenever he feels more hopeless and can't even tell these people what he's seen or what he's done. He can act as if he knows what's coming next, but he can't tell them why he knows. Because that weird hand thing comes to his heart and just gives him a nice squeeze. Like one of those stress reliever balls. You know what I'm talking about. But even at a point when it feels all lost and Subaru feels kind of down, and like he can't do anything, the relationship he's took the time to build over and over and over, quite literally, come back and help him. End up helping him save him from himself, actually. And yes, these different complexities in the story, as well as the ups and downs, makes it just amazing, almost as if it were a masterpiece in my opinion. But there's other little things that the show does. At times when you think you know the character, they start to give you insight on their background, flashbacks, stories. Rim and the Demon Clan, what happened with her and her sister, both being born with one horn, one being powerful and one being without one, and the things that happens when you're compared side by side with someone you were born with on the same date. And then also with Emilia, the background of her being in the forest, being little baby Emilia, talking to spirits, not knowing any better, but still having a personality that doesn't want to harm a fly. And then you really have to give the show credit when it gives characters like Otto a background, someone who seems less relevant to the story, in the big picture of things anyways, but still showing the viewer why that character's unique in his own way and had his own experience and why he's the way that he is. Some of these flashbacks show that just some characters have their own objectives. They're not exactly evil. They just stand to do more bad things to get to their good goal, or in their mind a good goal. Their objective, what they want to do, such as Roswell and Echdina, which I can't wait to be explored even more. So yes, the flashbacks and the character development that adds complexity. It makes you realize what they've been through and why they are the way that they are so late in the game. It's almost as if you knew them but you didn't really know them, and it's fantastic. Reverse character development is great. Also another part of the story that I absolutely love, and I think you would too. But if I had to go with one big thing overall that makes this story so fantastic, it is the unknown. Why is he there? Why are these different factions? Why are they bad? We still don't know the background on why some of these villains or bad characters are the way that they are, how they got developed, or why they're created. What's the point of even being in this world? And the fact that this story will go on for a long time is even better, because we're going to have a lot of content to go over, and it's going to be entertaining for a very long time, with new cool abilities, new characters, and more mini quests on this journey that we don't know where it's going to lead to. It's Shriz, and this is why ReZero is amazing, and if I say so myself, so far a masterpiece. Let me know what you think down below. Hope to catch you in another video.